Welcome to this DaVinci Resolve Fusion node breakdown. Today's node is the uDisk Lite node, or the USD Disk Lite node. So we're going to jump into Fusion, but before I start, you might have noticed yesterday on the title it said DaVinci Resolve Fusion 20. Most of these nodes will still work in the older versions, but I'm operating on 20, and I decided yesterday to start naming them 20 because there are some changes. For instance, our U cylinder we went over yesterday, and this is what made me realize it. On the U cylinder node, there used to be a little checkbox under here that said treat as line, but it is no longer there. So if you're in an older version, there's an extra checkbox that says treat as line, and all that does is create a thinner line type cylinder light. But some of these new DaVinci Resolve 20 nodes in Fusion are a little different. So I just want to specify that I'm using 20, but most of the stuff still applies for older versions. So jumping in, the disk light. So let's look for a U disk light, and we're going to input that into our merge. Now the U disk light is a round flat light, and it's kind of like the soft light, and it resembles a spotlight in our little 3D here. So it looks like a spotlight, but it is not a spotlight, it's just a disk light. So for us to be able to see this, we need to make sure we go to our render node, select scene, and make sure we enable shadows. Let's go to our disk light and let's transform it, say -90, so it's shining down and we can start seeing light. And again, as on our other light nodes, it by default sets itself as quadratic, and we're going to select linear so we get a little more light, but you can also select no decay if you want. And let's go ahead and jump to our transform node, and we can transform this on the X, in the Y, and the Z. And we can also rotate this light on the X, the Y, and the Z if we need to. And let's go ahead and bring this over so it's shining the other way. And let's get that cutting our little shape off. So under the controls, we can change our color, but let's jump down here to intensity and exposure first. Our intensity is the same. At 1, it's 100%. If I change it down to 0.5, it's 50%. And then we can adjust our exposure to get more light coming through. And then, as I said, we can change the light color independently on R, G, and B. We can also enable color temperature, so I can dial in a specific color temperature. Under diffuse response, this is how the light is interacting with diffused materials, how much it is or isn't. And same with specular response, how much it is or isn't reacting with the specular on our materials. Our decay rate will change the actual decay rate. So if we have it set to 1, our decay rate is at 100%. If we lower it, it's lower. Our shaping focus will shape the focus of our actual little disk light here. So if I bring it up, we can make it smoother. But if you notice, I'm going to go to no decay. It's not going to soften the edges on our actual shape where that little cone angle is coming across. It's only going to soften the light of our actual spotlight area or our disk light area. So I can soften that up as much or as little as I want. And then our shaping cone angle will actually change the size of the cone angle. Under normalize, again, this is just normalizing our light intensity across our entire scene. But if I uncheck that, I can use this radius to change the radius of our intensity. And under shadows, again, watch these shadows because they're not quite realistic. As I transform my light, you can see our light is actually not casting shadows according to real world lighting physics, if you want to say. So just be careful with those. Then under shadows, we can change the color, change them independently on the red, the green, and the blue channel. We can change our density up. We can change the softness of our shadows. We can change the softness quality of the shadow. We can change our shadow map size. We can change the bias of our shadows. And we can change the offset. Additionally, we can export it as a separate stage. Now, one thing to remember, you're going to start having problems if we start changing the shape cone angle too large. It's going to start breaking our shadows. So just mind how your shadows are looking while you're increasing that cone angle, because you can see it's pretty broken here. So that is the uDisk Light node. I will see you in the next node breakdown.